Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. I start by the name of Allah, seeking the reward from Allah and from Allah alone. I thank and I praise Allah for the innumerable, the countless blessings that Allah has blessed us with, without Allah being obligated to give us anything. There is nothing that is an obligation upon Allah. Allah gives to His slaves mercifully by His will, and He gives to His slaves whatever it is that He wills for them. And Allah does not benefit from the worship of the slaves. Rather, we benefit by our obedience to Allah. Allah is not raised by the hamd, the thanking and praising of the slaves. No. Allah is not benefited by the good deeds that we perform, by the sins that we avoid, by our calling upon Him, by our asking of Him. Rather, we are benefited. So Allah gives, and He is not obligated to give. Nor is it that He gives merely by the fact that it is the nature of Allah, or that He must do this. No. It is Allah's will by which He gives. Let us be grateful slaves for all of the endowments that Allah gives to us. And truly, the grateful slave of Allah would not dare, he would not use those blessings that Allah has given him in disobedience to Allah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. And I humbly ask Allah to raise the rank of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. MashaAllah. Inshallah, this evening, we will continue the review from this text of the immediate knowledge, which includes a portion of the obligatory knowledge. And that portion, which one must know right away, even if he were a new Muslim, inshallah. The last time that we were together, we spoke of the attributes of Allah. And we mentioned that it is obligatory to know 13 attributes among the countless attributes of Allah. So this does not mean that these 13 attributes that the scholars mentioned that one must know there's an obligation upon him to know are the only attributes of Allah. No. This is not the belief of Ahl Sunnah. Rather, these are among the countless attributes of Allah that were mentioned rather explicitly or by their meaning time and time again in the Book of Allah and in the Sunnah, the Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the scholars mention that it is an obligation for each accountable one to know these 13. And they are, and we mentioned these last time, and we'll review again, inshallah. They are existence, eternity, everlastingness. Allah exists, and He is eternal, without a beginning, and everlasting, without an end. Among the attributes are oneness, life. Allah is one. He does not have a partner with Him in His dominion. And He is attributed with life. And His life, His attribute of life, is not similar to our attribute, which is a combination of this flesh, the body, while the soul is intertwined within this body. And once the soul is separated completely from the body, for us, our life ends. But Allah is not one with a body, nor a soul. Rather, He is the creator of the bodies, the souls, and all of the creations. Allah is attributed with dissimilarity or non-resemblance to the creation. And Allah is attributed with independence or non-neediness of others. So Allah, who is the creator of all of the creation, all of the things, He is not similar to those creations in any way whatsoever. Allah is not similar to His creation in any way whatsoever. Allah is the creator of these creations. And the creator is not similar to His creation in any way whatsoever. So this is all encompassing. There is no similarity between Allah and what Allah creates. So any attribute that is an attribute of Allah, for sure, the creation is not attributed with this. And any attribute that is a confirmed attribute of a creation, then know with certainty that it is not an attribute of Allah. An example of a creation is yourself, an easy one. You know about yourself that there was a time that you did not exist. So Allah, there was not a time when Allah did not exist. You know about yourself that you have attributes that change. There was a time you were small like Bella. And now, look how big you are. You change. Allah does not change. There was a time when you didn't even know that 2 plus 3 make 5. Now you know that's easy to you. You learn, you change. Allah is not attributed with changing nor learning. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And look at yourself. There are times when you are still. Maybe you were little, you played the game, they said 1, 2, 3, red light, and you stopped. You were still, MashaAllah. Then they turned around again, you were back in motion. Allah is not attributed with stillness nor motions. You know about yourself that you can be connected to a thing. Like now, you are connected to the floor in the Musalla. Allah is not connected to things. You may be disconnected from another thing. Allah is not disconnected. You look at yourself, you see that you have an extent, you have a size, you have a body. It's confirmed for you. Allah does not have a size, nor a body, nor an extent, a limit. Allah does not resemble the creation in any way whatsoever. And Allah does not need the creation at all. We are in need of many things. We have arms, we have legs, fingers. these different parts of us are in need of a place to be in, right? Yes. Allah does not need a place. Allah exists without a place. We are in need, and it is true. Don't kid yourself. It's true. We are in need of others. MashaAllah. Allah is not in need of others. And since we are in need of others, I just want to remind you, as I remind myself, there are others who are, in ways they are needy of you. Do what you can do with a good intention for the sake of Allah, fulfilling the needs of your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your spouses, your loved ones, your Muslim brothers and sisters. Do that with a sincere intention. Inshallah, you may be surprised at the reward you will gain. And inshallah, maybe you will find that when you are in need of others, Allah will send those others to you to fulfill that need of yours. Because you fulfill the need of others sincerely. We said that Allah is attributed with sight and hearing, or as is often mentioned, with hearing and sight. And the hearing of Allah is not like the hearing of others. It is not a hearing that is in need of an ear or any other instrument. There is not a hearable thing that is hidden from Allah. And Allah's hearing is not something that happens to Allah. Allah does not change. And Allah is attributed with sight. He sees all of the seeable things without the need of an eye, without the need of light. Nothing is hidden from him. His sight is not like our sight. If it's far away, you might squint, still you don't see it. There's something in the way, like that wall, you don't see it. It's not similar to Allah's attribute. And Allah is attributed with knowledge. Allah knows everything and nothing is hidden from him. Allah has the perfect knowledge of everything. Allah knows Himself. Allah knows the creations. Allah knows everything that is happening. Allah knows everything that has happened. Allah knows everything that will happen. Allah knows all of the things that are not happening, all of the things that did not happen, and all of the things that won't happen. And had those things had happened that won't happen, He knows how they would have happened. This is not similar to our knowledge at all. And Allah is attributed with power and will. Allah has power over all of the creations. And Allah is not powerless over anything. In Surah Al-Baqarah, second surah, in the 109th verse, there is an ayah which means that Allah has the perfect power over all things. By Allah's perfect power, He brings things into existence. And He makes things no longer exist. He takes things out of existence. And Allah has this perfect power over all things. And Allah is attributed with will. In fact, everything that Allah willed in eternity for it to exist, it must come into existence. And it will come into existence at the time which Allah willed for it to exist. And nothing will exist unless Allah willed for it to exist. So you will see the agreement and the term that are used in talking about the creation and talking about the attributes of Allah. There may be an agreement in the term that is used, but the attributes are not similar in any way. Yeah, you have a will. By your will, you can move your hand this way or this way, if Allah willed for you to do that. Alhamdulillah. So we do not deny the will of the human being. Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. The Muslims are not those who say that the person is just like the feather that just floats in the wind. No. You have a will. You observe that. You know that about yourself. But know that you do not will except what Allah willed for you to will. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And by Allah's will, He specifies the different creations with the attributes that they would have instead of other attributes that they could have. MashaAllah. And Allah is attributed with speech, al-kalam. Inshallah, we will stop here, inshallah, and we will continue next time where we left off, inshallah. It's clear. Barakallahu feekum. Wa jazakallahu khairan. Let's end with that tahleel wa salah ala nabi. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Do you know, you remember that it's mentioned that the one who relieves a slave of Allah of one of his hardships in this dunya, Allah will relieve him of a hardship in the hereafter. MashaAllah.